Let's prepare some music for conversion here. So I've got a CD in my CD player in the computer. I'm going to open exact audio copy, select the CD player. Okay, so you see I've got a Tom Petty CD in here. You can save this to FLAC. Plug will read FLAC files. I'm just going to go ahead and make this into a single WAV file. So we're going to do copy image and create Q sheet uncompressed. New folder. Save. Okay, it's almost done here. Okay, that's complete. So we're ready to both the Q file and the WAV file in Plug. So first let's get Plug started. And I'm going to load ZAG 421 or Spec 421 ZAG release. I'm going to open up ZAG. Okay, we're going to jump in here with an edit. This is an older video, and the way that you get the Q files into Plug, into Spec in newer versions are different. So we're just jumping in here to show you that. So here again is the Q file that was just created with exact audio copy. And the way that you get this into ZAG in the newer versions of Spec is you just open that in an editor. So you can use Notepad. I have Notepad++. It doesn't matter. You just want to get it open in any kind of a text editor, and then you press Control A and Control C. What you're doing here is you're just selecting the entire file and then Control C to copy it. And then you jump over here into Plug with Spec loaded, and this is the newer version of ZAG, and you see here the top box is labeled Q file. So you just click in there and say Control V to paste that whole Q file in there. I don't know that it's really necessary. I generally just hit a return to make sure we get the last file. And you can see here it's already detected the number of tracks. So that's all you need to do with ZAG. We'll do a save as. Let's call it TP for Tom Petty. Okay, so we can close ZAG for a moment to get it out of the way. And then the next thing we need to do is load the audio. So in the audio file player, we pull this down. Want the WAV file. So now we've got the whole album queued up here in the player, and we've got the track links in ZAG. So let's go ahead and do a conversion here. So turn processing on. Oh, and we need to do some live monitoring, so let's go get an audio device. Now normally I would get a multi-channel audio device like this one, but because I'm doing this screen recording here, I'm going to get a stereo device. Okay, and again, just for purposes of this demo, I'll be connecting the surround sound outputs from Zmon down into stereo so you can hear them on this recording. Oops. Make sure we've got that working. You can hear some music. So the first thing you want to do here is look at this pre-gain control. the clipping light will come on. Avoid that. And you will have to adjust that differently for the different methods that you would pick. So just be aware of that. So we can go over method selection. Method selection will only function properly when processing is on, and that's the reason why this little readout is here, to let you verify that you've got what you think is processing. So that's important. Okay. So let's just quickly go through. Slice is going to slice up the stereo field into 5 pieces. You can't control the width of those different slices, but it does have a distinct sound that works very well with certain types of music. And it works by actually using multiple stages of the center cut method. And so that's what this stage 1, stage 2 is about. And then there's actually a third stage if you're wrapping the rears that puts sounds that are panned to the extreme right and left in the original stereo into a phantom rear channel. And these humidity controls are, you know, all the way to the right, or 100% humidity means 100% slice or center cut in each stage. And if you go all the way to the opposite side, 0 means you're actually listening to the input to that stage totally. So in this case it would be the original stereo. And so these allow you, the humidity controls allow you to reduce some of the artifacts that you might get in slicing up the stereo sound. So as you live monitor, you can move these around to get the best sound. It's a quick overview of slice. Center cut. Is just a smaller version of slice. Center cut is going to give you the center in the center speaker, what's cut out of the original stereo minus, you know, when the center is cut out, what's left over is the sides, and in center cut method those go to the rears, and then you have the original stereo in the front, left and right. Okay. LCR is kind of a deprecated method. This goes back to Gerzon and some of his work in early multi-channel sound systems, which started with 3 channels rather than more than 3. I don't find it useful anymore, but you can play around with it if you like. I'm not going to cover it in any great detail. Arctan is the most sophisticated of the methods in Spec, and it allows you to have control over the overall width of the stereo field, how it gets spread around your 5.1 channels. 360 would be spread all the way around to a phantom center in the back, again where sounds that are panned in the original stereo all the way to the right or all the way to the left would meet in the phantom center behind your head if you have this set all the way to 360. If you didn't want that to happen, then you would be setting this more towards the angle to your rears. So for instance, if your rear speakers were 110 degrees from center, then you would set this for 220. And that's of course controllable. And then you have width controls, center, front, and rear, whatever left over from setting the center and the front. And then you have several modes, which we'll go over in detail in the next chapter.